Hello, today I'm going to be talking about how to help learners who speak English as a second language explore technology. So, an introduction to the article, there are 4 frameworks you must follow for optimal learning for students, including projects, passion, peers, and play. By focusing and utilizing the 4 Ps, it will help with engaging students and uncovering different perspectives and deep learning in a classroom. Students should be able to be in control of their learning and feel empowered by their education with the help of their teachers and peers. Learning for students should be a time of enjoyment and impactful experiences, or else kids will burn out and associate their education with stress. Utilizing the 4 Ps of projects, passion, peers, and play, it's a teaching approach that deepens the understanding of the students. From the point of view of a student whose second language is English, creative technology can help with building their creativity, learning, and language skills with interactions and support. After researching, I decided to pick this article because utilizing the 4 Ps will help create an engaging and dynamic learning environment while also promoting teamwork, self-discovery, engagement, and responsive students. I thought that relating this topic to learners whose second language is English would be very helpful and interesting because having English as a second language already creates a lot of challenges with students, but with helping them explore technology, they can not only become a better learner overall, but they can practice learning and strengthening their English, and it can help the students feel more connected to their learning. So the key points of the article, the first one is projects. So by introducing students to the concept of projects, it'll force and encourage them to analyze, develop, and create. It will also encourage students to explore and problem solve by searching to find credible sources and information, and also communicate with their peers about their findings and help one another while developing their projects. Projects in the classroom help students with their creative and professional skills. The second one is passion. Educators are the main concept that students connect to a classroom. Students confide all of their trust in their teachers because they are the head of the classroom. If teachers convey interest and excitement in the classroom, it can enhance the students' experience and engagement. When teachers encourage their students, it sparks curiosity, motivation, and personal connection. When students feel seen and loved, they will want to work harder and become more engaged in their learning. The third one is peers. Collaboration creates an environment that fosters teamwork and allows students to connect and share their findings and problems with one another. Students not only learn from the teacher or by themselves. Most of their learning comes from communicating with their peers. Communication and collaboration will not only strengthen the students' learnings, but it will strengthen their interaction skills for the future. The fourth and last one is play. A playful learning environment encourages students to experiment their learning and quote-unquote take risks. Rather than putting a negative emphasis on getting a wrong answer, a playful environment calls for students to predict and ask and answer questions without being scared of being incorrect. This teaches them to not shy away from their creativity, and it makes it known that it's always okay to not know the answer. Overall, encouraging question asking rather than having students shy away. So, positives and setbacks of creative uses of technology. So, the positives of technology in the classroom is it enhances engagement. So, immersive environments for visual, audio, and engagement. It promotes problem solving. It allows for new opportunities for interacting and learning. Creative learning allows for personalized learning, and also it creates meaningful participation and learning, which builds confidence. The setbacks of creative uses of technology is the language barrier can make it difficult to follow instructions and navigate the technology, so it could cause the students stress and frustration. Not everybody has access to technology and Wi-Fi. The students may feel judged or less than due to the language barrier, which can reduce their enthusiasm for engagement. And lastly, there's always comes with the misuse of technology and non-educational browsing. To continue, an example of utilizing creative technology in the classroom is to prompt students to design and build a robotic pet that will respond to their environment around them. This project incorporates storytelling, collaboration, and coding. It allows students to use their creativity, communicate with their peers, get firsthand experience with hands-on technology, and also develop their language skills. So, learning theory reflected. Engaging students through exploring technology is teaching kids to absorb information through cognitivism and social constructivism. Cognitivism is a learning theory that focuses on thought processes of strengthening the mind through problem solving, thinking, and decision making. With cognitivism, students are operating on self-developed algorithms for information processing and decision making. When using creative technology in the classroom, students are always thinking, using their resources to problem solve through questions, but also problem solving as they figure out how to effectively use the internet. And they are always making decisions about education sources, the right use of technology, and deciding what their focus should be on. To continue, social constructivism is when students learn primarily through interactions with their peers, teachers, and parents. When using creative technology in the classroom, students are encouraged to collaborate with their peers when working on projects and communicate their findings. They are always interacting while asking questions to one another, and the teacher is involved in the interactions when teaching how to use the technology effectively for their work. So, the historically marginalized learner group I chose was learners who speak English as a second language. So, learners who speak English as a second language are referred to in a learning setting as ELLs, which means English language learners. It is very difficult because each and every individual has a varying level of English proficiency. The toughest part is usually the large language barrier, which makes it difficult to understand the peers around you. It can be frustrating to complete work, and communication won't always be smooth and thorough. Oftentimes, there are also cultural differences which affects behavior and learning styles. What is a very important aspect of classroom management and expectations to a teacher might have not even been a thought to the student because of the differences in cultures. ELLs are limited in vocabulary and different forms of grammar because they are still learning, which goes in hand of difficulty with reading and writing comprehension and also listening and speaking skills. There are various learning gaps, so abstract content can be very difficult to comprehend and understand. Oftentimes in the learning environment, students may fear asking questions due to fear of incorrect answers, and they may feel less confident and isolated due to the language barrier. Possible challenges and barriers in the classroom include the article's approach to technology integration may challenge learners whose second language is English because of the autonomy of technology. Due to the language barrier, instructions may be too complex and terms may be too difficult. Most of the time, the language needs to be simplified because of the difficult dialect of the English language. Also, because English is their second language, they might not be able to express themselves creatively. They may struggle with the use of technology and verbalizing and explaining their findings. To continue, using creative technology emphasizes communicating with peers for optimal learning, but ELLs may be hesitant to participate and engage in the communication with their peers due to the language barrier. Most students are reluctant to participate due to fear of failure, so imagine how fearful making a mistake is or providing wrong information due to not being fully confident in your language abilities. Also, exploring creative technology might cause an overwhelming overload. The instructions can be too complex and hard to understand. The task at hand may include too many instructions and concepts. Also, it is harder to connect concepts, especially if abstract, so it can cause confusion and frustration. Strategies to overcome the barriers and challenges of the use of creative technology. So in order to overcome these challenges, The educator must make sure that the needs of the ELLs are met and that each and every student feels comfortable in the learning environment. So first, you must make sure that you verbalize to the student or students that they must take their time. You need to simplify language and instruction. You must reassure that mistakes are totally okay and they can and should happen daily because that's the beauty of learning. Teachers should use interactive learning tools so students can work at their own pace. Teachers must also verbalize openness so students can feel comfortable with you and overall communicating. Also, it will help to pair an ELL student with strong English speakers so they can learn and practice their language effectively. And lastly, don't be afraid to use text-to-speech translation apps, subtitles and videos, and pictures for connections. Possible benefits of creative technology include technology is going to be something that is going to be widely used throughout one's life. The earlier you begin to introduce technology to learners, the more they are going to benefit. Technology is involved in basically everything and is only going to continue to grow. Also, allowing your students to explore and use technology will foster their creativity and allow them to deepen their learning and understanding of any topic of their choice. English as a second language for students can use technology to their benefit by using translations, researching vocabulary or concepts that are confusing to them, and last but not least, it can deepen their understanding and studying of the English language. Also, with the use of creative technology in the classroom, most learning platforms are interactive, so students can take their time and go at their own pace so they can make sure they really understand the information. Overall, introducing creative technology in the classroom is at great benefit of ELL students opposed to normal traditional learning. My first peer question is, how might a different marginalized group, such as learners from socioeconomically disadvantaged homes or communities, benefit from having creative technology integrated into their courses? The second is, analyze the beneficial role that creative technology can play both for the classroom environment and for the benefit of learning and of learners' classroom time. Lastly, what additional barrier could arise for learners whose second language is English, and how could they potentially be addressed? It's okay. Lastly, the summary and conclusion. As an educator, using creative technology in the classroom is very important and should be used to benefit all students. Focusing on the 4 Ps, projects, passion, peers, and play, help with engaging students and uncovering different perspectives and deeper learning. Using creative technology in the classroom is not only beneficial for students, but can be very rewarding as well. Overall, introducing creative technology into daily classroom instruction poses large benefits for students. Creative technology fosters critical thinking, analyzing, decision-making, collaboration, and communication. Using creative technology in the classroom allows students to become stronger and more analytical thinkers as they are given autonomy, responsibility, and opportunity as they browse the web. Students are given the opportunity to broaden their mind and really deepen their learning. Creative technology in the classroom is also something that can be fun and enjoyable for students when given the option to use the technology to play educational games and collaborate with friends on something like a class project.